What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be giving you guys 5 ways to move your business out of the plateau it's in to surging growth during bad economic times. Now, we talk about this a lot. The economy, you can't control it. You can't control what goes on in the world. You can't control if things go up and down and sideways. But there are some things that you can control in your business so that during economic hard times, you can still grow. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know, we are taking on a handful of gym owners to work with us one-on-one. So just click that link below and book your call with us today. This way we can look under the hood of your business and figure out how to scale you to the next level. So, Jimmy, let's talk about the first one, the P&L. Now, economic times are hard. The gym is plateaued. How do you get over this? Let's talk about the P&L.
Well, we got to comb through it, guys. I mean, there's a lot of gym owners that we've met over the years that have lower profit margins than they really should have. And it's probably because economic times are good and they don't care that much. They'll spend here, they'll spend there, hire this whatever person, hire this agency plus a business coach plus a cleaning service plus a this plus a that, and they have a subscription to every kind of software that exists. So we have to regularly comb through our P&L to make sure that we're not spending money on things that we're not using. Just recently, as an example, I did my day where I go through my P&L and I go through my bank account and I look at everything that I'm spending money on. And I realized I had a software subscription that I hadn't used in a year. Got rid of that, boom. I mean, sometimes these are only little bits of money, but they add up over time. So you got to look in, you got to comb your expenses and make sure you're not just getting nickeled and dimed over things that you're not using, you're not actively growing revenue in your business. The things that you need that may seem a little expensive, right? Those aren't the big things to cut. It's not look at the most expensive line item and delete that. That's how a lot of people think about their finances. Oh, what's the most expensive line item? Delete it. Think about what value it brings to your business and how it contributes to profit. So you got to do a deep dive. You got to comb through those expenses.
Well, Jimmy, I'll ask you a question. How much was that subscription for?
It wasn't much. It was like
how much was it for?
a month. 15 bucks a month.
All right. So if you found 15 bucks on the floor, would you be excited?
I'd pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't you're not going to walk right by it, right? Like, right. Oh, cool. I found 15 bucks on the floor. It's exactly what you just did in your business, something that you weren't using. And that's why it's so important to understand and constantly look at what's going in and what's going out. My tip and what I would do, I do this every day. I get up in the morning. First thing I do, I don't scroll on Instagram. I don't scroll on Facebook. I don't check email. I open up my banking app for my business. What came in, what went out every single day. And doing that allows me to keep the pulse on my business as to what's going on, how much deposits are coming in, what went out, do I need that, why did that go out, why was there this bill? And it allows you to keep a finite, what you pay attention to is what you will see changes. So if you want to obviously have more in your bank account and have less going out, you got to look at it on a daily basis. So that's number 1. Number 2, we're going to be talking about internal promotions. Now, when your business is stagnated, not growing, you got to get some excitement back. You got to get some excitement back with your clients, with your staff. Sometimes things just kind of level out, right? Like it happens. So you have to get some excitement back. So how do you get that excitement back? Well, internal promos are the best way to do it. You can have a party at the gym. You can have a special event, charity workouts, buddy weeks, things like that. Those internal promotions bring the gym kind of together, special workouts, things like that. They bring the gyms together. People start talking about things. They start telling their friends. And doing that, it kind of spices things up a little bit. And sometimes the programming may get a little bit boring. The training might get a little bit boring. The atmosphere in the gym might not be exciting because there's nothing to look forward to. Whereas if you did let's just say I don't know, what are those like Tough Mudder things or Spartan Race or whatever? Like you can get people excited to be back at the gym again. Yeah, I'm training for this race, or I'm training for this competition and things like that. It spices things up. It lets people talk. And when people talk, the word spreads about you.
100%. The internal promos, the parties, and all this kind of stuff may not be revenue now activities, right? So you have to think about it in that vein. But doing them on a regular basis, these things that the charity workouts and the buddy weeks and all this kind of stuff, those turn into referrals, but it brings a better culture to your business and allows your people to better refer to you as opposed to leaving your gym and going somewhere else that has that sense of community. And running seasonal challenges is something that can be a revenue now thing that you can kind of add to that list where you go, okay, cost this much to have this additional program. And people are willing to pay if they get the novelty of the program or it's around a specific goal or whatever. If you're doing a Tough Mudder as a gym, you can run the Tough Mudder program and tack on a little bit more to their membership just to get a little bit more money out of that endeavor because you're designing that specific program and your staff is spending their time doing it and it's something special for them to participate in. So don't sleep on that.
Yeah, the third way is spend more. Now, remember, we talked about economic times, your gym's plateaued, but you did save some money. You went through your P&L, you looked at some things, maybe you did an internal promotion, you earned some more money at the gym. So now you have to spend more. And what does that mean? What do you mean? What do I mean, Anthony, when I say spend more, right? Well, when during hard economic times, people retract. And when people retract, things become a little bit cheaper. There's less people marketing in your area. We're talking about digital advertising here, but there's less people that are, in your area marketing. They're not spending as much on Facebook. So you can actually crush the competition during this time if you start spending a little bit more. Remember, the goal of digital advertising is to get more leads in so you can sell more leads and ultimately bring more revenue to the gym. So you have to start spending more, especially during an economic hard time.
I got nothing to add to that. Elegantly said, my friend.
There you go. All right, cool. That was number 3. So don't be afraid to do it. I know it's like, and again, when I say more, let's say you're normally spending $20 a day, it could be 30 a day. Like you don't have to go from 20 to 100, just inch it up slowly. And soon you'll start to realize, okay, this advertising spend is getting me this back in return, especially when you're doing ads correctly. So if you want help in any of that, you can just click the link below, book your call, and we can walk through some of that stuff with you. But now, number 4 is training your staff. Training your staff is so important when your gym is plateaued. Why? Same kind of reason I said before. The staff may be a little bit plateaued. They may be a little bit dry. You need something that kind of reinvigorates them. The more knowledge they have, the more knowledge they're going to pass on to your clients. They're your frontline workers. They're the first thing the client sees. They're the only thing the client interacts with aside from the machines. So you got to spice them up a little bit. And the only way you can do that is by diving into them and then training them to become the best trainers. That's your trainer's goal, to become the best trainer.
Reinvesting in them is something that takes a couple of steps, right? So you want to reinvest in them in specific ways to make sure that they're on the ball with their training and they're excited about it. The X's and O's of training are exciting for a new trainer, but as you've been in this industry for a long time, it kind of becomes old hat, it becomes the same thing over and over again. So you want to look for opportunities where you can take your staff to continuing education events. You want to take the opportunities to have that weekly meeting with them to go over the X's and O's of training, to really teach them something new and know that they're growing and learning. And if they're growing and learning and that's their role and their job is to grow and learn as a trainer and they feel like they're doing that, then they're going to apply that to your gym and to your clients and make it a better experience overall for them, where your clients now regard your trainer as more of an expert because they're learning more, they're understanding more. And this doesn't have to be you that's administering all of this training. So don't think that, oh, I have to be the one to teach them all these things. For the most part, you can be, but they can go outside of your facility to learn from other professionals. There's plenty of other people that have built their entire careers on teaching trainers how to train. And if you find people that you like, that follow the culture of your gym and your system, and you have providers that you like, pay for your trainers to go to these events. Pay for your trainers to go to continuing education. At our facility, we have a $2,000 limit per year on continuing education credit. And that applies to all different kinds of seminars that are approved by our facility and the way that we do things. So your trainers can use that so that they don't have to come out of their own pocket to do it. So it's a little more of a motivator to make them stay accountable to keeping themselves on the ball, but make sure that they're using that, make sure that they're doing it, and be excited about some of the things that they're learning, and they can share it with the rest of the team so that it takes it off of your plate a little bit, but it's a reinvestment in your business and it's money well spent. So don't think about it as a expense. Think about it as an investment in your team.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. Well said, Jimmy. And the last point, point number 5, is you need to do more outreach. Guys, the gold is not from the client, the leads that come in, right, and buy. That's not the goal. Because you're going to get, let's just take an easy number. Let's say you work with us, we ramp up your marketing for you, and you get 100 leads next month, right? Not clients, leads. Now, out of those 100 leads, you're going to have a certain percentage of them that are buyers right away. Let's say you have 20 of them that buy right away. Let's just say that's what it is. They buy right away. You pick up the phone, they're hot, they're ready to go. 20 of them buy right away. The goal in succeeding during hard economic times is what you do with the remaining 80 leads. Because some of those 80 leads aren't ready to buy right now. So what do you do to heat those leads up? You got to outreach them more. You got to send them, educational stuff. You got to turn them from an ice cold lead to a sizzling hot lead. But the gap, the 1% of gyms that make it to 7 figures know how to convert those 80 clients, 80 leads into more paying clients. Want to add anything to that, man?
Fortune is in the follow-up, man. Fortune is in the follow-up. The nurture is the way. It's money now versus money future. And we have to remember that statement. Because money now, everybody looks at their marketing spend or their leads as money now. Oh, that didn't turn into money, so it's a dead lead. Oh, I'm frustrated with my advertising and all this stuff because, I only got this many closes out of this many leads. Well, right now, yes, for the first couple of weeks after that lead enters your system, the first, 4 hours to 14 days, sure, you're getting that 20% maybe. But it's that additional 10% or 20% that you can get up to out of those leads that are not hot right away that make the campaign way more worth it. So don't sleep on those leads that are not converted right now. There are plenty of leads in your system that are waiting for some additional motivator. You send a challenge email out to your list. You send a promo out to your list, like they get a t-shirt and a protein and a this and a that if they sign up today. Or it's seasonal. So they signed up for your program in the winter, but they're not ready to take action on it because they have all these other things in their life competing with getting started on their fitness journey. But now it's spring and they've been on your list for 6 months, but now it's time. But if you don't reach out to those leads, they're going to convert with somebody else because they've forgotten about you at that point. But they're still on your list and they're still buyers until they die, right? Buy or die. They're buyers until they say no. They're buyers until they say stop. So don't forget about that. They didn't say opt out. So keep following up.
And that's it, guys. If it's a hard economic time, this is how you overcome it to grow your gym. Stop the plateau, guys. Implement what we talked about. And this is Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.